Right, guys. So we've run in some technical difficulties there. I'm not sure whether it's internet, whether it's overusage of people watching. Hopefully, we've have oversubscribed and there's too many of you watching. But it looks like we ran into some uh, broadcasting issues from Trevor's insert already, and that you guys were struggling to hear and see him, and also obviously with Sarah and Theresa. So the good news for Sarah and Theresa is they're going to do everything over that we've been chatting to them about already. But then for Trevor, I'm not exactly sure where we've lost connection with him. So I think, Trevor, I'm just going to bring you back on as well, and just want you to sort of nail your last five top tips for riding the event, and then we take it from there, and then you guys can fire away with questions to Trevor, to me, to Theresa and Sarah, and we'll answer them as we go through the talk. So I'm gonna bring you back on, Trevor. You are back on. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys can see you a bit better now, and that you can chat to them. Give us I know you had a brilliant talk about everything, but give us your five top tips, summarizing maybe what you were chatting to. I'm not sure where we lost connection with the guys. If you don't mind going for that.
Hey, five. I'm going to have to count them out properly. From the beginning, remain hydrated. Okay, I got one down. Number two, every 30 to 45 minutes, make sure that something's passing your lips with regards to solid food. Whether it's just a little part of a bar, or it's a piece of biltong, or a bite of an apple, or whatever it is. Stop at the water points and fill up your bottles. Anything can happen. Some of the roads are incredibly corrugated. We've done a couple of years where there's been hardly any, a lot less corrugation, where it's less of an issue, so you won't lose a bottle. Make sure you fill your bottles. I think every rider will agree with that. Also, make sure that you keep your that you keep mindful of the fact that you need to eat some solid food. And like Theresa and Sarah were saying, they have a chicken mayonnaise sandwich from Woolies, and it's good to have something different. You can't just stay in that same rut of just eating the same food. It's nice to just eat something different. I like to carry an apple, carry a little packet, like a little 50-gram packet of biltong, and I'll go and munch on that. And the other is just always keep moving. You know, if you're going to stop too long, you're moving, and at least you're moving forward. So there's 5 tips.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that was actually brilliant. Thank you. 5 tips from Trevor there, and unfortunately having to get him to do that, as I don't know where we've cut him off or where the problems occurred. Give us your questions to PowerBar, and we'll try and answer them the best we can. And Trevor will do that. Then also, before I switch back over to Sarah and Theresa, Trevor, there's a new bar range from PowerBar that they've launched just recently. He mentioned it in his talk. I hope that some of you heard it and some of you saw him talking about that. If you can comment right now what that range of bars name is, we'll send you a $500 PowerBar hamper to the first person that names the right name of the new bar range that PowerBar has just launched and that Trevor mentioned in his talk. So there's a little competition for you right there, and he will post you that hamper if you get the answer right. Okay, so then I'm going to bring up Sarah and Theresa, and hopefully our quality will be better this time around. and people will actually hear us and see us. Here we go. Sarah, Theresa, welcome back. You were here the whole time.
Thank you.
Guys, Theresa, Sarah is the best riders. No, I've just said it that way. The best women riders of the Transpavillons. I've changed my whole way of saying it, but they are the most successful women riders of the Transpavillons. Sarah has done 5. She's won all 5. Theresa has done 5. She's won all 5. I've been totally with all these internet things. I've lost my train of thought here completely.
We'll correct you, don't
worry. They're already nodding there and saying that I'm wrong. Guys, welcome. Thank you for chatting to us. Sarah, I'm going to do it all over to you again. Okay. If you can give us your thoughts of your very first Transpavillons. Maybe if you want to do it slightly condensed, that's fine. But go for it and give us your first thoughts of your very first Transpavillons that you did.
So my very first one 3 years ago, T asked me to do it only 3 days before the event started. I said yes before realizing how long it was. So I had to quickly think about feel myself and how I would make it through an event this long. T was very much like a mother through the race. When I got to points of, oh my gosh, this is the longest I've ever ridden, or everything hurts, and my chain fell off, and that was the year corrugations were the worst. So having to deal with really sore wrists and just, I was such a mess the whole time. Snot everywhere.
She wasn't that bad.
I've improved drastically since then.
I know, and this is now our anniversary race. So yeah, every year we've got to come back and either try and improve our time or depending on the conditions, have more fun or put in different forms of goals to achieve through the race, just to keep us motivated and wanting to go faster, do better.
Yeah. And it's amazing, so T's done 5 now, but the 3 that I have done have been completely different races. So it's why we keep coming back. The environmental changes, the roads are different, the temperatures are different. And just, it adds a new element, which is really exciting.
Cool. Yeah. And so if I listen to your stories correctly, am I right in saying that was your first race together, and after that you formed this formidable team, winning races all over South Africa, competing in different events all over, and being quite a very successful team of South African women cycling? Is that correct, actually? Then?
Yes, Trans made us into the team that we are today.
Well, exactly. I'm so stoked to hear that. So, well done, and thank you for saying yes all those years ago, Sarah, and riding the race. And Theresa, for mothering her. I think in your first part you said that Theresa was like a mother in that first race, and getting her through. Thank you very much for coming back every year. We always love seeing you guys at the event. So digging back into the topics that we've been discussing on this talk at the moment is things around the boxes. So the boxes is a thing that has always been a topic. It's always one of the things that we get emails about the whole time. People asking what to pack, what not to pack. So obviously you girls are right there in the front. I made the mistake earlier to say that you don't use the boxes. Apparently you do use the boxes. So give us your what you pack typically into your boxes as you preparing for the race, and then some tips that you might think would be valuable to a novice rider.
So T is very good at organizing this.
Shall we start with the main box?
Yeah.
We've got a main box that's at the top of Bergplaats. In this box because it's the one that we almost have to force the lid closed because it's got every piece of Mayday equipment that we could ask for in there, from an extra gilet or long sleeve,
new
armies,
gloves,
a new set of kit,
buff,
new socks, a buff,
lights.
We also put our torches in there as well, plus the famous chicken mayo sandwich or 3.
It's amazing what we can eat.
So whatever we fit in that box, and obviously your spares, you want to put a spare tube, you want to put in spare bombs in every single one of those boxes, and also a black plastic bag.
So the trick with that one is because there's been trances where it's snowed on the top and it's been freezing temperatures. And T showed me this one is where you can literally make holes in the sides of your black bag and then stuff it underneath, and it acts as like an insulation, keep you warm
layer.
You put it on your jersey, not over.
Otherwise, you flap
you
like
start flying.
You flap inside.
Yeah.
So that's
I love that.
for the novice.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take up any space.
No, you
every single box, put a black plastic bag for each of you. And then that will also give you peace of mind that there is wet and cold that comes away, that you do have an extra layer.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I suppose from box 1, the box, I think it's 2, and the last one.
Yeah.
Black plastic bags, spares if you've got them, and then the food that we really put in there is the real food. We do have those electrolyte tablets as well, because at the water points you may not have the nutrition of choice that you want to use, but we use PowerBar, and we use those effervescent electrolyte, as well as some of these sachets which are already measured and already packaged for you and will not take up too much space. So we put those in the boxes, and just we almost over cater this race on the just in case scale.
If you want to put perspective in, our first tranche took us 11 hours and 41 minutes. And our second tranche then took us 8 hours and 58 minutes. And then our third tranche took us 9 hours and 7 minutes. Yes, the length of time between checkpoints varies. You don't know if it's going to take 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Anything can happen. So you just want
to. So I'm very glad that you guys also have things where you over cater. I thought that the pros just have it slick and smooth and you go for it. I think that with boxes, it's always a bit of an issue where people are getting. I just want to try and get rid of Trevor here because he's over talking, and I suppose you can't really hear me.
Hey, Trev, we can hear you. We might need to mute you.
Right?
There we go.
Sorry.
Okay. Back to you.
Trevor, will you sign out? I'll bring you back in when I need you for questions. I hope you heard
We'll send him another message.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We're good.
Okay, cool. All right, girls. Yeah, so that's really some valuable tips on what to do there and how to pack your boxes and so on. So thank you very much for that. Then on nutrition, you've covered some of that already in what you said, and using the electrolytes and using those sort of things that you need. And I like the fact that you've highlighted that you need a carrot in that box that pulls you to that point, and that you can dream about that specific thing that you've put in there. So that's
not
all
to mention the soup, because there's always soup at the top of Bath Blast anyway, and it's a dream having something warm and cozy to eat / drink. So having that plus your favorite thing, I mean, hot cross buns, peanut butter sandwich.
It helps that if you know that something that you enjoy eating and that fuels you well is sitting in that box at the top of Bergplaats or at the next checkpoint.
Yeah.
It kind of motivates
like a positive.
you. It's a positive thing, even though Transpavillance really, really has the most amazing tables that you can ever imagine, that almost you have to hold yourself back from not filling up yourself too much, that you'd actually heavier when you finish the race than when you started. For example, your jaffles.
Yes, we race for the jaffles.
We actually race for those jaffles. And we try to get there as fast as we can. And we try and make it by daylight. So
we plan our stop so that we can actually sit down and have a hot chocolate, or it's a Milo, I think.
So, it's
Milo and a jaffle. And then you're just like, oh.
And once again, that leads us back to real food, that your body is possibly wanting the savory stuff at different parts of the race, just to keep you fueled, and it's easy to digest. It doesn't make you feel nauseous and settles the stomach.
Yeah, I think that those jaffles, I've heard all the comments before of people saying that's what takes you home. It's that jaffle that you need for that 30 Ks to get you home. It's really that last little push you need to get there. And I've heard that very much so. So I'm glad to hear it does the same all the way through the field.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you very much for your time. I think that we've covered a lot of the stuff that we wanted to ask you guys. Is there anything that you feel from your side that you want to share still with riders from Trans, and what your thoughts are?
Well,
what are you doing now currently training for in lockdown? You're at least now out and able to go out for 3 hours. So what are you doing now training? I know you're not only specifically training for Trans, but you're just training to be fit and healthy in general. But what are you doing? What are you up to at the moment?
Well, we did Transpavillance last weekend. And we're really hoping to do it for a second time this year.
Yes.
So
we didn't break our record, by the way.
On the indoor trainer.
No. We did 9.5 hours to cover 230 Ks. But we did do all 3,000 meters of climbing, so that was pretty impressive.
And we were in a no drop ride, so we were hauling a couple of people along with us. But it was all
for the gears.
For the gears, for the training, and for a good cause at the end of the day. So that's kind of what has happened indoors. Now that we're allowed outdoors,
it's the coldest freedom I've ever felt.
It's pretty cold in Joburg, and it's dark at 6 o'clock. So we're
practicing with our lights, and it's so early that we haven't had breakfast yet. So
we're getting used to that buff on your face. Exactly. So, but normal routine and the training routine, I suppose, is seeping back in. Racing will only, if we're very lucky, will only start towards the end of the year. So I'm kind of back into base miles again. And that's hours and hours and hours. And I never thought I would ever be doing 9.5 hours on an indoor trainer in my life.
But it was easier, right?
It was actually not that bad. It was the camaraderie and everybody's in the same boat. And we're having Zoom calls or Discord conversations with people that are riding with you. Actually ride with any level of rider, because they can just latch onto a group and ride with you. So the social aspect is still there. But yes, it's very nice to be out, even though it's only been a week.
Tired already from the early mornings.
The early mornings are getting to us again, and the cold. So I'm back in base till we know what's happening with the race schedules.
Cool. Great. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you joining us and coming on for a chat on the Trans Talk tonight. I hope that the technical issues got sorted out in the second part of the show. We apologize for that, and we will answer any comments or questions that you post in the comment section. I do see, Trevor, there's one for you on, let me just go here quickly. Somebody asking what is a good high carb drink from PowerBar to use during the race. I don't know if you want to answer that there, Trevor. Trevor, we can't hear you. I think you've turned your volume down. Yeah. There we go. We can hear you now. Trevor, I'm going to have to cut you as well. Sorry, man. I don't know. The technology is not working in our favor tonight. It seems like your sound is going up and down. I'm not sure if it's our stream or what's happening there, but we're losing you there. I will get that answer from you properly.
If you want us to answer, we use the products.
Well,
so
he can shout at you if you've got it wrong. So there we go. Theresa and Sarah, give us the answer there on the proper high carb drink to use during this race.
There's an ISO active one that's very, very good, and then you've also got ISO Max. Just to let you know, I use the ISO Max. It does have a caffeine portion to it as well, and it kind of does keep you going. So that is my favorite. Then your ISO active is not as high in the caffeine. It has a lot of electrolytes, and they're low GI. So that is a slow release, but very good just to keep you going. And then one of our favorite ones are those electrolyte tablets. And those are easy to carry. Yep, Trevor's showing us those. That is something that I just put in my back pocket. We put those in our boxes because they don't take up that much space. We put a tube in every single box. And those give you all your electrolytes because you're sweating throughout the whole day and you need to replace that stuff to avoid cramping. So those are the three products that we mix and match with. Sometimes I even put an Isomax and one of those electrolyte tablets in one bottle, and then I split the bottle and top it up with water. And that's my secret, well, not a secret anymore, little concoction. To anyone out there, so you're getting the best of both, but it's split between two bottles, otherwise it's too sweet.
And save the Coke and water for the last water point. Don't start having it from the first one.
I know people love Coke and water. But that is a high sugar and high caffeine thing that just makes you go up and down like a roller coaster, as they said. So rather stick to the low GI, good sources of
carbs. I also see that our winner for real
Theo, I can see Trev
you
moving.
were the first to comment.
We've
the
lost
Real
you.
5 bar, and it's a great product, fully vegan, and some real proper ingredients in that bar. So I'm quite excited to see what those bars are going to be like.
Yeah, us too.
You guys too.
Trevor will send us some, and we will give feedback on those. But they look delicious. So there's a goji berry and a hazelnut. It looks like, which are nice flavors.
Yeah, cool. All right, so we're all excited for that. I think that is us for this evening. Thank you for all my guests that signed in. And once again, sorry about the technical issues. Hopefully you got the most valuable information out of tonight's talk. And just shout with comments or emails, and we'll try and get as much answers through to you. And then next week, Wednesday night, again, 8 o'clock, we have another episode where we're looking at training planners in a lot more depth with Harold from Polar. So have a good evening. And that link to win the Polar Grid X is open till 10 o'clock tonight. Cheers, guys. Goodbye.